Hello world. How's everybody today? Hey y'all. I just realized my shoes were in the shot. So, how many people do we have? 3. Y'all, this is my first broadcast. Well, that's kind of a lie because I did a broadcast before and I was really nervous. It was my first one. I was scared and I didn't like it because I'm a current YouTuber too. And I'm all about perfection. And the lighting has to be just right. And if I make a mistake, I want to be able to edit it and cut it out. So I deleted my first Periscope. Gone. So it's a little white lie, but technically this is my first Periscope that I think I'll probably leave on here. Because hell, if you don't do it, it'll never get done, right? So what? I'm terrified. I'm a little scared and nervous. But hey, we'll get over it. We'll get past it. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the love. So, because I don't have a lot of followers and I'm not on Periscope that frequently, and I just announced it on my Facebook, I probably won't have anyone in here watching, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and record this anyway so that I can share it later on YouTube with all of my friends and followers who've been asking me to do this full face routine for the longest. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Ursula Clark, and I am a unique presenter. I love makeup, everything about it. Been wearing it since for a long time. Since my mama would let me wear it, I've been wearing it. So I kind of have a routine down pat that I like and I enjoy, and I'm going to share that with you guys so that all of my existing customers and future customers, potential customers, if you've been thinking about unique products or you want to get a closer look at them, this is the time to do it. And I'm going to show you what I do, what I use, and what it's used for. If you've been looking at a particular product and you're like, you know, I would buy it if I knew what to do with it. Or I would buy it if I knew, you know, the benefits for me. So we're going to jump right in. And I've already washed my face. And of course I used Younique's Illuminate Clear to do that. And so now I'm going to just do what I normally do every day. And I don't think there's anybody in here to talk to, which is even better because this will be a short Periscope. And I won't have anything to say much. But anyway, here's the Younique serum. Hi, thanks for joining, Jamela Brandy. It's the Uplift Serum, and you can see it's almost gone. So anyway, I use this under my eyes. It's botanical blend, so it's got all that good stuff we need for that area under our eyes, which is super thin and sensitive. And you see I have expression lines, which have been greatly minimized since I've been using the Uplift Serum. It's rather genetic, but anything that can help, I like to use. And I also run that across my lashes. One of the main ingredients in the Uplift Serum is vitamin E. And our lashes are hair too and need to be moisturized and conditioned, baby. And the new 3D Fiber Lash, the fibers in them are now infused with this stuff. Win-win. Okay. Fall is upon us. Very important to moisturize always, but especially when the temperature drops outside, because your face, look at that, how rich and creamy that is, can get dehydrated and dry really quickly. So those little lightweight moisturizers that you guys have been using, no good in the fall, especially if you live, I live in the South, but if you live in the North, the colder it is, the heavier your moisturizer needs to be, even if you have oily skin. Okay, because if you have oily skin, you tend to use cleansing products that dry up the oil, and your face's response, because it's so smart, is to create more oil. So if you give it the moisture it needs, you'll find that your oil secretions will balance themselves out nicely. Now, ideally, and according to the professional makeup world, you're supposed to let your moisturizer sit for up to 20 minutes so that it can completely penetrate your skin. she ain't got time for that, okay? Because I move right along. It can penetrate as I go. So the next thing I'm going to use is the Glorious Primer. So I have oily combination skin, and what I hear people say all the time is, I don't like to use the primer because I have oily skin. It just seems to make my skin even more oily. Same thing with the moisturizer. You're supposed to let this sit and dry, but I'm about to tell you a trick because I don't like to sit and wait on anything. So just a little bit will do. That's number one. Don't use a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. So take this, spread it on your face. I even put it on my eyebrows to make sure they don't move. You know, you don't want to be talking to somebody and touch your face and then, you know, your eyebrow has just shifted all the way up here, even though that will not happen. If you use our pencils, also put it on your eyelids because our pencils stay put in our lip liners. Make sure to put it on your eyelids because we're going to put our shadow there and you're going to want that to stay, even though our eyeshadows have staying properties too. Okay, getting ahead of myself. So there's the primer. Here's a trick to quick setting your primer. Grab your powder. I'm using the Mineral Touch powder in, what color do I use? Taffeta. I use a lighter powder than I need. It's completely dirty, almost used. Look, I've hit pan on all of my products. So here's our powder puff brush. I love it. It's like heaven on your face. So I go ahead and put that all over to sandwich my primer with my foundation and to set that primer quickly so you don't have the oily effects or the slippery effects of, number one, you don't have to wait for your primer to set. This kind of does the job for you, and you've already created a good oil absorbing barrier on your face before your foundation. Okay, now because it's fall and it's kind of cold outside, the weather is changing, and oh, I'm jumping ahead. Let me go ahead and do my brows. I like to do my brows before my foundation because I like to put, outline them with concealer. Okay, so I've already put the Glorious Primer on my eyebrows, and I'm trying to clean my brushes as I go. Listen, if I didn't do this Periscope, it would never get done. If I waited to clean my brushes, get my space together, make everything perfect, I'd never do it. Okay, this is our Lash Comb Brow Brush. So I'm just going to get these really nice and clean first. And hello, if you are joining from the replay. How you doing? Okay, jumping ahead. Where's my, okay, I used two. Now, next month, we're going to have new brow products. Brow pencils come out. But for now, I use two. I use, oh, that's black. Hold on. The dark brown in Proper. And I use Prim, the lighter one. I use a lighter one because our primer, face primer that we put on, makes any color that you put on top of it pop. That's eyeshadows and pencils. So it will actually look one shade darker. I'm going to look down here so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm taking the darker shade and I'm putting that on the bottom. See? And I'm taking my lighter shade and going over the top. Short strokes. Short, short, short. And light. You don't need a lot of pressure. Now notice how I'm not coming all the way in here. The rule of thumb is where your eye stops, that's where your eyebrow should stop. This can vary. The middle of your eye, typically your arch should be here within like a 1/2 inch space between the center of your eye, right? That's where your arch should be, and your eyebrow should not extend past the end of your eye, the corner of your eye here, okay? Rule of thumb. Let's do the other eye. And I'm coming in with Prim. And you guys, this is one of the reasons you don't want to stick with colors that you think would match perfectly, because a big thing in makeup artistry is to have colors that create shade and dynamic in your face. You don't want to look plastered and, you know, one-dimensional. Okay, so now I'm taking, this is not unique. This is a MAC brush, I think, but a small angled brush like that that has tight, compacted bristles, and you want to blend out. Just blend that all together. And you're blending the same way you did with your pencils. And you see what I'm doing at the inner part, since I'm picked up color here when I blend it, and then I just use what I picked up from my brush to bring it to the middle. And that way it looks natural, looks like a natural gradient and not so harsh. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the reason I'm doing a full face today, well, I do a full face almost every day, but it's because I have accepted the challenge of the I wake up and I make up. So you take a picture of yourself when you wake up in the morning, and then you take a picture of yourself after you've applied your makeup for the day. And I thought, well, since I'm applying my makeup anyway and I'm overdue for this tutorial, I'll just go ahead and kill two birds with one stone, which is a horrible saying, by the way. Why would you want to kill birds at all? Okay. Now, for a little extra zhuzhing and to make sure we're all blended, I take my brush and just blend that all in. Don't worry about making mistakes or being perfect. I'm about to show you why. Here's another brush. It's not unique. I can't wait for us to come out with more stuff. I'm so excited every year. Every month almost, we're coming out with new products in every season. So here is a really small brush. And what I do is take some concealer, any type of cheap concealer you've got. You won't have to worry about that next month either, because we're coming out with concealer. Booyah! So excited about that. So I'm just using NYX, a little potted concealer. And I'm just picking up a little bit of the concealer, and I'm going under my eyebrow. I like a sculpted eyebrow. Some don't, and that's okay. But this is how I do mine. Plus, it helps to kind of clean up any boo-boos you've made along the way. But putting a, you want to make sure you use a lighter concealer than your skin tone, because the contrast of your dark eyebrow with a lighter concealer is going to help your brows really stand out. Don't worry about blending right now. It's a little thinner than I'd like it to be. Just come back in with your Prim and build that back up. Okay, so now the next thing I do is I apply my corrector. You see I have really dark under eye circles, and I have some hyperpigmentation. If you're a woman of color, you can completely relate. Most women of color are also darker around their mouth areas. Adding concealer to these areas that are already dark typically doesn't cover them. What we find is if we add a concealer that's too light, it just ends up looking gray and ashy. If you add a concealer that's too dark, it really doesn't do anything for covering your dark circles, and just makes it look even darker than your makeup compared to the makeup that you'll put on your face under your eye. So what we want to do is called color correction. So to offset dark circles, you use the color Peach. And I'm using MAC's color corrector. It's called MAC Prep and Prime. Right now, Unique doesn't have any color correctors, but because we're coming out with concealer, I anticipate some color corrector palettes coming out really soon. So this is what it looks like, and I go ahead and add just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. Under my eyes, And y'all, this is another reason it's really important to take care of the skin under your eyes if you're going to be applying makeup down here and kind of pulling, tugging, and at this skin, you want it to stay moisturized and supple. And then I'm also going to put some here. I apologize, y'all. I can't use Periscope in airplane mode because for some reason my Wi-Fi isn't as strong upstairs. And I can't use Periscope on Wi-Fi. I have to use my cell phone data. And you can always already kind of see how the color is balancing itself out, right? And a little goes a long way. And this is one of the reasons I started wearing makeup to begin with, is because I had acne in my teenage years. And I got hyperpigmentation from the acne. So I like to cover those dark spots. So now I take my concealer brush, and this is Unique. And I kind of just pat that in. It does a really good job of setting by itself, but you just want to make sure that it's no longer wet. Because you want it to stay in place. You don't want to add your concealer on top of this and start moving it around, because then you're just going to create another color by mixing the peach with the color of your concealer. You want your peach to be a base. Okay. So now, because I don't have our Unique concealers yet, I'm using LA Pro concealer, and this is in the color Fawn, I think. No, Warm Honey. I have Fawn too. It's a little too dark. Okay. That's how it looks. You just squeeze the tube up. And then we're just going to put this over all the places we have our peach. And remember to go lightly and to try not to rub as much as you pat it on, because like I said, you don't want to mix or blend the two colors. You want the peach to stay in place, and you want the concealer just on top of it. If you're asking if I do this every day, absolutely. Takes me about 20 minutes, I think. Wouldn't take as long if I wasn't talking. Okay, so I take my concealer brush, and you want to pat that concealer in. Remember to get in there in the corner of your eye. And I do a triangle shape because this is also going to duplicate as like a highlight when you're contouring. Okay? So pat it in, because like I said, you're not trying to mix the two colors. You're trying to you just want to place the concealer on top of that peach. And another tip, when you're using concealer on like one point on your face, pat it and then work around. Bring it out and around like that. So now we've kind of balanced out all of those dark areas that would create shade on our face. And if you want it to go for a lighter look, if you take your time and conceal really well, you can wear this look out of the house. It takes a little more. One day we'll do a no makeup look. And I'll show you guys how to pull that off. Because sometimes you just have problem areas, but you don't want to wear a full face of makeup. Okay, now see how my hyperpigmentation is like probably in a couple of little dots right here. But see how I've concealed the entire area around it? And that's so it will blend, and when you put your foundation on, it won't just look like you've got light circle, light circle, light circle, light circle, right? Okay. So what I'm using for foundation are our BB creams, again, because it is, hi, Be Fit for Lifer. Thanks for joining. I'm going to use our BB creams because, like I said, it's getting colder outside. The weather is already changing, and my skin responds to climate change like that. So it's not technically fall yet, but because it's already cooler outside, my skin has begun responding. Hi, Dave. I'm so glad you joined. Just tickled. Because it's cooler outside, my skin is already starting to get dry. So that's what I like about using BB creams, because it's an all-in-one. You got your moisturizer and you got a little tint of color, although this has more color than other BB creams, which I really like because I'm a full coverage type of girl. So you can go lighter or not with your application. So I'm going to be using 2 BB creams today because, again, as a woman of color, and even if you're not a woman of color, sometimes it's hard to find. You can't just buy one shade and think it's going to work all the time, right? So I've got the BB cream in honey, and then I'm using caramel. And these two together work perfectly and create my perfect shade. Excuse me. And that's a really good tip for anyone who's buying foundation, to buy a shade lighter than you think you would use and a shade just a little bit darker so that you can create contour automatically. We actually have a contour kit that we sell on my website at ipoppin.net, where you can buy 2 of these and the blending buds, and you can do your contouring. So it's also nice when seasons change, you can use more of one and less than one. It's just a good idea. All right, enough of that. So I'm going to put the, which one am I using? Honey. I'm not going to contour wet. I don't like contouring with wet. I prefer contouring with like powders and stuff. So I'm going to put the honey on, and then I'm going to dot on my other BB cream. I'm sorry, guys, if you're hearing my notifications come through. I have to work on getting the caramel. All right, so then this is what I like to do. I like to use a kabuki or a stippler brush to apply and blend in my foundation. I find that the stippling method, of course, my nose is itching now, works better to give me full coverage even with products that may be intended for lighter coverage. And I notice the places where I use concealer, I'm being careful to go over really lightly because I don't want to disturb or move our concealer. And notice I'm also not putting the foundation under my eye because the concealer is the makeup for my under eye, and you don't want it to get too thick and cakey under there. I'm also not running it over my eyebrows either because they're already done. I'm putting a little bit on my eyelid just to kind of even out the color. I'm going to take our rose water and spritz my brush. This also helps make it look more natural. Thank you for the love, boo. That feels so good. So normally you would take your spritz, and you can use it as a, thank you, baby. You can use it as a toner, which I do sometimes, or you could also use it to kind of set your makeup. This is what gives you the nice dewy look. If you've ever seen makeup applications where it just looks like there's powder on the face, that's because it hasn't been dewed down, as I like to say, with a little bit of water or spritz to kind of help it soak into not soak into your skin, but you know, settle. Okay, so blend that out really well. Now, here's another trick. I have big pores. Thank you, sweetie. I had to learn the hard way. I have big pores around my nose. So this is a trick I've learned. Around my nose and in my forehead area, I will lightly take my brush and swirl. Like this. And what that does is kind of help that makeup settle in so it's not just sitting there. Kind of gives it a really nice photo finish. Just like that. And honey, I believe in blending. I do not like to go outside and notice where I have a line. Blend it into your hairline really well and down your chin. You can't stop your makeup application right up here. Blend it on down. Okay, I think we're good. No, I didn't, but I'm going next year, honey. I'm all in St. Louis next year. But I am going to the Empower training in October. It's going to be in Nashville. Where are you located? Okay. I'm not missing that trip, boo. They were having too much fun. Okay, so now that I have that done, the next thing is to begin setting our face and contour. And I want to do that first. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and, oh, okay. I went to New York last October, girl. I love New York. Loved it. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my contouring in place. I want to go ahead and do that so that it has time to bake or set. So your body heat will help the powder kind of sit into place. So when you dust away the excess, you've got a natural kind of glow in those areas. So for that, I'm going to use our concealer, and I'm using Fresh. Let's see how it has the little sifter. This was Unique's first foundation. I'm just making a mess. You get a little bit in the top there like that. And then I just take a wedge sponge and I'm going to apply that to set my concealer. And I'm not worried about blending right now. I just want to apply it because, again, I want to give it time to soak up naturally. And I would say a little goes a long way, but like I told you, I warned you, I'm full coverage girl. Making a mess. Okay. And here. And as you can see, I'm using products that you would think, oh, those are way too light for her. Why did she get those? For this reason, because I love to contour. Love a good contour, boo. So if you have a Unique presenter, for those of you who aren't Unique ladies, I know, me too. For those of you who are not Unique presenters, and your Unique ladies host parties or give you chances to win Y cash and half-priced items, I encourage you to invest in products that are lighter and darker than your skin tone. Not only for yourself, but for when you become a presenter yourself, you'll have product line. So y'all know you need to become presenters. It's a no-brainer, right? No-brainer. Okay, so now I'm going to contour in, I'm sorry, I forgot one more thing. I don't usually have to talk and put my makeup on in the morning, so I'm all over the place. So I also like to put it here. Don't forget to highlight. So the basic premise of highlighting and contouring, not to go into too much detail, is to naturally highlight the areas that receive light and to put darker makeup in areas that would be in the shadow. That's it. No brainer. No big deal. Again, not blending. I know it looks crazy. We're just going to let it sit here. We're going to let our body heat the warmth from our skin do the heavy lifting. And down the nose. And I love this concealer. It's called concealer, which is going to be a little confusing, but I guess it's really our mineral foundation, because it also does a wonderful job of soaking up oil throughout the day when you let it sit for a while. Okay, so now I'm using the concealer in Fierce, which I'm also out of. I hate running out of everything at the same time. Okay. Got our little sifter here. So I've got some there. And this brush isn't unique, but I'm sure we'll be coming out with something soon. And it's just a regular old fluffy brush. I think it's Elf or something. It was $1. So I'm going to pick up a little product, not a whole lot, and this is going to be my contour. So I don't have a 4-head, y'all. I have a 5-head. You see how big my forehead is? So I like to use quite a bit on my forehead. So I use it around the top and I come in a little bit. The theory is that when you contour and use these deeper colors, these areas are kind of less visible or pushed back, and then the areas that are highlighted come forward. Now, when you do your contour on your cheek line, contrary to popular belief, unless you're really trying to go for an angled look for a photograph or photo shoot, you stop right there. You don't bring your contour all the way to your mouth. And then along your jawline. So you're kind of drawing the number 3. You can also do this with our bronzer. I've done that before. But I use this and the bronzer. Love makeup. And I use it almost every day. Okay, same thing on this side. And you will not believe, if you've never contoured before, you need to try it. It will slenderize your face. Okay. So the next thing we're going to contour is our nose. Same concept here. A brush shaped like that. Right now, Unique doesn't have one. Sure we will. Pick up a little bit of that, your darker contouring color, and I am going to contour my nose. Have to concentrate. There's an art. Okay. Now, if your nose is longer than mine, the tip is you can shorten the length of your nose by applying your darker highlight across that last third of your nose. It kind of creates a stopping point, a visual stopping point. Okay. So now, while that is sitting and setting our highlight, we're going to go ahead and do our eyes. And today I'm going to be using Splurge, our cream eyeshadow in Tenacious. That's a beautiful gold color. Look at that. So I'm going to get a little more of our primer because by now what we added earlier has dried up. And I'm going to put that just on the bottom because that's the only place I'm going to be putting the cream eyeshadow today, is on the bottom lid. And I'm actually not rubbing it in that much. I kind of want it to still be wet so that when it does dry, my Splurge shadow will be stuck to it. It won't budge. It doesn't budge anyway, but a little help. Okay, and here's our cream shadow brush that is specially designed to use with our cream shadows. You see those bristles are packed really tightly, so they do a good job of picking up the shadow. And And I'm just going to put that on my bottom lid. My eyes protrude. If you have eyes that are shaped like mine, putting dark colors on your bottom lid only gives the illusion that your eyes are set back. So I like using dark shadows on my bottom lid. Don't neglect the outer corners. Make sure you get those. And I'm not going any higher than I can feel the top of my eyeball right there. And same thing on the other eye. Boom! Booyah! Here's a little trick to make this stand out, is to take a little extra concealer and just apply that right on top of the lid. I'm going to take our concealer brush and kind of blend that in. So you're creating a contrast. I feel like I need some music, or should be singing or something. And I went too far, so never worry, you can always correct. This is what we use to apply our contour. So that right back on top, boom, done. All right, so now while that sets, we're going to go ahead and finish up our eye makeup. And I'm going to use what's left of my pencil and our black, which is called Perfect. It's perfect. Why? Because everybody needs a black eyeliner. Everybody. Again, I am not about, well, I am about perfection, but you let the pencil be perfect. You don't try to be perfect, okay? I'm going to show you a little tip, a little trick. Just get it on there, apply it. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, so for those of us who have protruding eyes like myself, you're going to have creases under your eyes just because that's what happens to your skin when your eyes kind of bulge a little bit like mine do. If you bring your liner down low enough, you can kind of camouflage that, and I'll show you in a minute. So right now I'm just going to place my black liner on the top lid and on the bottom. And you're like, oh my gosh, she sure is being messy. I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to get this down here and on my waterline. If you have really big eyes, like me, applying black liner on the rim or your waterline will help your eyes appear just a little smaller. If you have narrow eyes or eyes are not big and you want them to look bigger, you're going to want to apply your black liner under your waterline and then use like a white liner in Pristine, for example, underneath to kind of make your eyes look bigger. There are days I do want my big eyes to look bigger. Not today. Not today. Okay, so what you're going to do now is take another brush, kind of shaped like that, and blend in that black. The older I get, the less I want sharp lines because your face changes as you mature and get older. And sharp lines are aging. They look really good on really, really young faces. But unless you're going for that look, as an older lady, I would suggest staying away from really harsh lines, which is why I like to blend. And here's a little trick I was telling you about for those of us who have protruding eyes, is blending this liner. I don't know if you can see because I'm looking down here. Okay? Like so. Makeup makes me feel so fierce. Like, I got the power. Okay. Booyah, booyah, booyah. Now, see how it's blended down? And you're like, that defeats the purpose of having concealer, Ursula, if you're bringing all that black liner down. Not if it's done right. Because now we got more of a smoky look, which is what we're going for. So now, I'm going to bring that whole blending thing out to the outer corners. Not much. Just create like a hint of a cat eye. See what I'm doing? You can probably see it on this side better. Now you've got that product on your brush. You don't have too much. You've got just enough from blending underneath. Kind of want to bring it up to that outer corner just a little bit. Okay? So now it's time to dust away the excess of our contour. So go back to your powder puff and just dust away. Dust away and blend. So you can see how that's set really nicely. I feel like I have something on my face too. I got cream shadow right there. Never happens in real life when I'm doing makeup in the morning. No. Just happens when I'm recording live. All right. Ta-da! Now I'm going back to my stippling brush to blend in the sides of my contour. Go back to my pressed powder. I'm just going to pick that up and make sure I douse and apply in those areas where I tend to have oil. And then what's left will go everywhere else on my face. Now, let's do our lashes. So here the new 3D Fiber Lash mascara tubes are. Got the little windows. Does your mascara do this? Does your mascara do this? Does your mascara tell you when you're almost out of gel and almost out of fibers? I ain't think so. I ain't think so. Not unless you're using this right here, this right here, this right here. Okay, so you know the steps. If you don't, this is Unique 3D Plus Fiber Lash Mascara. Lengthens your lashes up to 400%. Yes, it does. All right, so we're going to start with the gel. Then we're going to put the lashes. And then we're going to seal back with the gel. Ready? Open both tubes so you're ready to go. Here we go. Watch this. Here's some tips. Swirl your wand. Swirl it. Get your product on there. See that little product that's on the tip? Tap it just a little bit. But now you're going to take that and you're going to run that across your lashes first. I know. You're saying that's not how you put mascara on. It is if you want to make sure you get product on your lashes, boo-boo. Boo-boo. So now, you're going to take the base of your wand. You're opening wide, right? Because you don't want to get your mascara on your eyeshadow. And you're going to start at the base and zigzag up. Why are we zigzagging? To make sure we get that product on all of our lashes. Make sure you go to the end of your lashes too. Now take your fibers. I would normally say don't pump, but you gotta make sure you don't get a whole lot of fibers on your wand. Now, make sure you don't hit your waterline with your gel or your fibers. You wanna focus kind of on the middle to the end of your lashes. We're going to let those dry. We're going to give the gel time to get to know the fibers. We're going to do the other eye. If you get a lot on your wand, like what side is that? Just kind of scrape it off. Zigzag. I feel like the lighting could be better in here. I'm really sorry about that. Quickly put your fibers on because you don't want your gel to dry. Your fibers have to have something to stick to, don't they? Okay, now time to seal them back in. Make sure you are not skimpy on your gel. You do not want those fibers to move, boo. Now, if your lashes are long like mine, I don't know if you can see, take them and kind of go behind your lashes and scoop them up like that to make sure the ends don't, the ends of your lashes don't stick to one another. I don't know what's wrong with this lash. It's just been sticking out doing its own thing for a couple of weeks. All right. And because this is like a 3-step mascara system, I would recommend that you don't be in a hurry. And it's not like regular mascara where you can bring it out of the tube, slap it on, and walk away. You want to make sure that you get really good coverage across all of your lashes. Okay. Since I'm doing a smoky look, I'm going all in. I'm going to do my bottom lashes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Now, this is where I really find it helpful to use the tip of my wand. I'd like to thank my mom and daddy for such big eyes. I like my big eyes. I'm not mad about it. We're doing the same thing down here that we did upstairs on our top lashes. And you know when you don't have enough product on your wand, if it looks dry, put it back in there, boo. Stir it around. Swirl it. You don't want to pump your wand. I'm sure you've heard this before because you're introducing air into your tube, which dries out your mascara and introduces bacteria. It's no good. Then you want to look at me crazy because I sold you some mascara you think making your eyes itch when you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. So don't do it, boo. Listen to the eye popping diva. She know a little bit. She know a little bit about makeup. Just a little bit. Okay. So the top is done. I'm just going to give these bottom lashes time to dry. You like that, don't you? You like that fan, don't you? I know, girl. Okay, let me stop playing. This Periscope been long enough. Okay. Here we go. Put the bottom ones on. We're almost done. Home stretch now, boo. Home stretch now, boo-boo. Yep, I did that. Put mascara right on the tip of my nose. Have you some Q-tips. Have you some Q-tips ready. Watch this. Look how easy this is. Take it. Roll it. Done. Gone. Boom. All right. So fall is the season for darker colors. So to pair with my gold eyeshadow, I'm going to wear our lip stain called Stiff Upper Lip in Savvy. It's purpley. Purpley. Now, before you apply lipstick, Your lips may feel dry. Do not lick them. Try not to lick them. I know you've caught me licking them a couple of times during this broadcast, but whatever. Don't do it. Don't do what I do, do what I say. Whose mama said that? Your mama said that? My dad. Okay. Because saliva dries your lips. If you can, when you jump out of the shower, put like a little lip balm on or something. I actually like to use Uplift on my lips. Anyway, I take our lip stain that I just lick my lips. I try not to. And can I tell you that I love a lip stain because nobody got time for reapplying stuff all day, every day. Although, I cannot see myself. I'm thinking out loud now. So, our lip stain is liquid and kind of watery because it's a stain. So, you're going to need to apply several coats until you get it where you want it. See how liquidy it is? And you're saying to yourself, oh my God, if it's that liquidy, Ursula, what happens if I spill it? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It don't come out because it's unique and we're perfect. I'm just kidding. Close. We're close. All right, so that's dried a little bit. And I think I want some more. Because I'm slightly obsessed with lip stain. And those of you who follow me on Facebook know I'm really obsessed with the color Skittish. The fuchsia pink. Ooh, hunty. Okay. So how long was this video? You can probably shave about 15 or 20 minutes off to give you my true time. Because like I said, when I'm putting my makeup on in the morning, I'm not talking through it. Right? So here's our finished look, y'all. Whoop, whoop. How cute is my hair today? Feeling it. I braid really tight too. That braid is tight. Oh. Do you like? You like? Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully you've joined the replay. And give me lots of hearts so I can know that this was helpful. If it wasn't helpful, don't give me any hearts. But if it was helpful and you like it, show me some love by double tapping the screen. Share this broadcast with someone who loves our products or could get some benefit out of this. And make sure to leave me comments if you're seeing this on YouTube or Facebook. So I'll be posting pictures on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter later. You can follow me there at iPoppinDiva. And I don't think the lighting is great. I don't think you can really see the full effect. Let me see. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Hell, I should have had those on during the whole broadcast. But there's our finished look, y'all. What do you think? So for a full coverage girl, I'm not mad at our BB creams, right? It's all about how you apply it. The stippling brush really helps pixelate the pigment of the foundation of the BB cream all over your face. Instead of rubbing it in and becoming one, you're kind of saturating or, you know, onto your face. I like that. So if you don't like heavy coverage, then you can blend it. Use our blending buds instead for a lighter coverage. Oh, completely forgot the bronzer. Bam! I use Malibu. Yes, I do. And here's our angled brush. So for this look, I'm going to use both. I'm going to swipe right down the middle. And I'm going to bring it right up like that. Now, pay attention. Here's another thing about maturing faces. Your face ain't all high and perky, and your cheekbones ain't up here like they used to be. Don't bring that bronzer down here. Don't do it. Bring it up right here. This is where your cheekbones used to be. That's where you when you were younger. That's where you wanted to be. The apple. See, because when you smile, you're like, I'm going to smile and apply my blush right there where I smile. And then you go like this, and it drops way down here. Now you got blush down here looking crazy. So don't smile. After a certain age, you know the age. I ain't got to tell you. It varies. Have your face like this. Resting diva face. And apply it here and come up. Right. So you can see it. It should be about right under your eyeball. That's where it should end. Don't have blush over here and over here. Don't do it. Don't do it. You only need a little bit. A little dusting. I prefer using bronzer over blush any day. Why? Because you ain't got to think about what color the blush is, what color your lipstick is, blah, blah, blah. Do I love our blush? Yes. I have some. You want to see it? You want to see it? Want to see it? This is called Sweet. I like blushes that look like blush. You know what I'm saying? That don't deposit color on your face, but just kind of look like a little glow. A little glow. I think that's why I like bronzer so much. If I can open it, I'll show y'all. There it is. How pretty is that? Gorgeous. All right, y'all. That's the end of the broadcast. I did it. I did it. You know why? Because there's nobody in here. I had a couple of people pop in. So it's just like YouTube. It's like I'm recording without the edits. So I think that's why I was less nervous. I mean, when you're a Periscoper, you want people in there. You know, because that's the idea of a live broadcast. But honey, when you're a little scared, you're not mad that nobody was in here because, you know, it can be nerve-wracking. So I challenge you. If you've never done a Periscope, do one. I want to see you. I'd like to talk to you. I'll watch you live. Bye, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful Saturday. See you later. Remember to keep popping.